I've decided to give up my home comforts and travel around Europe in a motorhome with my dog Darcey and visit some of the places that inspired me to create the dishes in my book, Millie's Real Food. This is Millie's Real Food Road Trip. Aha! We are in a place called Val-Des-Prés. Val-Des-Prés. It's just over the border from Italy and France, and we've landed bang in the middle of the Alps, and it is just stunning. I kind of want to build a log cabin and just live here. I mean, look at this. So this is my take on a classic French dish called a pissaladière. I did French GCSE, my accent's appalling. Kind of like a French pizza. So you've got like a flatbread base with caramelized onions, anchovies, and olives on top, and like a scatter of parsley at the end. But I'm gonna mix it up a little bit because making a flatbread is kind of like time consuming. Ain't nobody got time for that. In my book, I do this recipe with phyllo pastry, which is kind of nice. You know, if you're doing like a dinner party, it's kind of nice to then chop that up in little bits and serve as a canapé. I'm gonna use some good old puff pastry. You just need pastry in your life. It's just gonna be even easier. So I'm just gonna whack it down and then toppings will go on top. It'll go in the oven and in 20 minutes, it's done. Team this with a salad, a vat of wine, or a beer. Can I have my beer? Thanks. My oven is on in the camper van, that little bad boy. I've put it on what would normally be around sort of 180 degrees C fan, about 200 Celsius. Now, white onion, de-skin it. Just want to slice it and get that into our pan. So, onion in, little splash of olive oil, and a little bit more butter. Because, after all, butter makes everything better. And we're going to turn that down to like a kind of a low medium heat because we just want this to caramelize nicely. It's like when you go to like a fairground and you get like a hot dog with the onions on it. That's the kind of onion we're looking for. Really caramelized, a bit sloppy. I don't know. Is this to do with Love Island? So, see? So cool, but I don't even know what it's about. The onions have started to go. Really nice kind of caramelly colour, which means they are getting there. So it's time to add in some sugar. Just a couple of teaspoons in there. And that's just going to help it go a little bit more caramelized. In with a little bit of pepper too, just to season it up. Stir that up and then turn that to a really low heat, and we're just gonna leave that for another few minutes while I get the puff pastry ready. So roll out your puff pastry, smack it down, peel this film, ooh, get rid of it. And then just kind of do whatever you want really. I mean, I like it to be a bit more rustic. I don't like it when it looks all really super pretty. Loosely get it into your tray and then fold these edges around and squash them slightly, just so we're creating a little bit of a border so that when the onions go in, it's not gonna spill over. Onions off the heat and then just pour straight onto our base like that. Every last bit out, and then just spread it over the base. Get as much into the corners as you can. What it would typically have would be anchovies and olives. So that's what I'm gonna do, but I know that so many people don't like anchovies and olives. Top it with anything you want. I mean, it doesn't then become a pissaladière, but it's your rules. If you don't like anchovies, don't use anchovies. So this is like a lattice style, which is typically French for this dish. Then black olives, just in the holes here. Don't buy those flavourless, horrible pitted olives that we can get in the supermarket. They taste like plastic. Get these, they're so much better. They actually have some flavour. And yet they've got a stone in them. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to have it with the stone, just squeeze it in your hand. Take the stone out, job done, but I'm not that fast, so I'm leaving them in. Finally, just brush the sides with a little bit of that butter. It's gonna help it get all nice and golden brown in the oven. And that's it, jobs are good. And so that is gonna go into my oven for about 15, 20, 25 minutes, depending on what kind of oven you've got. I've got a gas stove, so it might take a bit longer, but in a 180 oven, 15 to 20 minutes until it's gone golden brown. Off I go! Done. So it's had about 20 minutes in the oven. It's a lovely golden brown. So all I'm going to do now is just chop some parsley to go on top. It's not the typical thing to do with this, but to be honest, I just think a little bit of green makes everything pop and it just seems a little bit nicer. So just a little bit of parsley here. No chefy knife skills required. We want it really coarsely chopped. And then just put this all over the top. Just like that. Bish, bash, bosh. That is my puff pastry take on a classic pisse saladière. Pisse saladière. So, I'm gonna dig in. Really yummy. So, so good. So yummy. Please give it a go. You'll love it.